Today we will look at actually inking, and I'm going to go back to the previous series of drawings. First step, I'm actually going to lighten up my pencil lines just a touch, because I'm going to have to erase these guys. I just want to see how the pencil is going to handle being erased. Looks a little smudgy, but this is a good eraser, and so I think it's going to handle it okay at the end. For the inking, I'm actually going to go pretty broad. A lot of times people will use actual ink, brushes or pens. Markers are fine. Really, I think these days when you say inking, you're just talking about actually finalizing the lines. And so that's what we're going to do with this. In this finalizing process, I'm going to help Short Arm Ninja a little bit, and we're going to give him a little bit more arm than he used to have. Not a whole lot more, though. A lot of people have different techniques for their inking, and it usually is just developed over time, what you're comfortable with. It is more of a technical exercise sometimes, but it still requires talent, and it's still fun to do. So I can't recommend it enough. This is it's a pretty thick pen to try to do some inking with. Try to give any of the lines any variation. But this is a chubby little ninja, and so I think it's going to be okay. I'm just going to try to keep blocking out my areas. I'm going to try to give it a little bit of volume with the line itself. I'm going to go kind of light on some of the details, because I know that once I really get going, I'm just going to be filling this in with a lot of black. And once that starts happening, we're not going to have to worry about too much more. If I was just going to do this as the elusive white ninja, I think the way that I'm proceeding right now would be okay. I'm being careful about the lines and where they're all placed. They all have some volume of their own. So if I wanted to, I could leave this as a white ninja, but we're going to go with the traditional black ninja, and he's going to be very dangerous. A lot of times when you're inking, you also have choices. You can fill things in, or you can leave them open. And then there's a whole other aspect of inking that I think only professional inkers for comic books and illustration can really appreciate, and that is actually adding shadows with inks, because you have to use textures and you have to use your knowledge of lighting, and that's something that takes time to develop and to learn. But for the ones who are really good at it, you can really appreciate what they've put into it. Alright, I'm going to start actually filling in. I'm going to draw the sash here. I'm just going to add a couple highlights to try and give it the look of being shiny. When I ink, I try to be a little more precise. But again, the great thing about inking is it's an extension of your style. And so you can be sloppy, or you can be clean. It's up to you. However you want to do it, that's okay. So you can see I just left a little line there to hint that maybe his robe opens right there. Okay, we're going to get back into the details of our short arm ninja here, which is a funny thing to say when I'm doing it with a Sharpie, but it's still possible to do some detail work and hone in on some things. Actually, a lot of times I like these thicker pens like this because then I can do some of these effects really quick. I'm actually gonna switch up pens in the middle here. I'm gonna go to this pen because I love it. This is actually more of a brush pen. You can kind of do some different things with it. Actually do some thick and thin with it, although I'm using it a little bit heavy right now. But I love to just ink freehand with it. Get everything down. So last step, and really, really critical to know your ink pen a little bit, because sometimes they don't dry fast, and all that work you just did can be wrecked pretty quick if you have a wet pen. I know that Sharpies dry pretty quick, and I know that that brush pen I was using dries pretty quick. Oh, but I just had a little smudge. So you take all of that pencil out from underneath, you get left with a very clean black and white drawing. Let's see, keep it all in frame still. And there is a inked ninja. All pencil lines are gone. Nice and dark.